I've been having so much fun with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I don't even know where to start. It's rare that a slow burn story driven RPG grabs me like this, not just for the excellent writing, immersive setting, and inventive gameplay, but for the feeling it gives me. It's not often I get a new game that makes me feel like a kid again, like dark in the basement playing N64 when I would just kind of mindlessly wander, no real idea what I'm supposed to be doing or where I'm supposed to be going. This game has a weight, but it's not heavy. This game has immersion, but it's not grating. This game has stakes, and I don't mean the stakes I made for your mom and dad last night after they saw me from across the bar and came over to say how much they just dug my vibe. I want to talk about what makes this game so special and why I think it's a perfect sequel. Let's start with the generic sequel stuff. A sequel is supposed to improve upon the original game and hopefully give you some more meaningful stuff to chew on. Kingdom Come 2 improves on everything. The combat is so much better even though it's only been slightly improved. The tiny things they gave it leave it complicated and methodical like the original, but feeling so much tighter and easier to grasp. Hits register more obviously, combos and master strikes feel way more satisfying to land, and being outnumbered is no longer a major death sentence. Or, like with alchemy, for the love of God, thank you, it's no longer a slog that munches half of your day. It's still a hands-on immersive system that requires you to read and follow a recipe, but just like combat, the small tweaks they've made make it far less clunky and annoying. The leveling system is also better, with the selection of perks you get from a level up feeling a lot more impactful and fun. And so are companions. The number of times Mutt has saved me in this sequel is in the dozens, versus the first one where he basically ran around just barking and being useless as hell. Horses are a lot more fun to ride, they feel more realistic and less floaty, even though the only horse I've ever ridden was your sister. From the very beginning, you get this immediate sense that the developers at Warhorse Studios listened to feedback and played their own goddamn game. They didn't reinvent the wheel here, but they made it rounder. And this might seem like a crazy small thing to mention, but for some reason I love that the game picks up right where the first one left off. What I found really cool was that it also doesn't require you to have played the first one. It gives you these amazing nightmare hallucination scenes throughout the opening that recap the important beats from the first game. These moments, they never feel like out of pocket or jarring, and some of them are downright nightmarish. They also continue throughout the game to kind of help digest the struggles that Henry is having with his own emotionally confusing quest for vengeance. Yeah, nothing beats talking to your dead blacksmith stepdad through an Akira Kurosawa-style dream sequence, you know what I mean? But let's talk about that immersion a little more, because Kingdom Come 2 isn't like many other role-playing games. It's a moving, moaning simulation of medieval life, almost sometimes to a fault. Blacksmithing, for example, what an amazing addition. I'm actually a little surprised it wasn't in the first game, but I guess it took Henry a little while to get over the trauma of his past. Yeah, that's it. Somehow they made this activity wildly fun, especially when you're hammering the horseshoes and you have to aim the hammer. I feel like I'm playing Mario Paint again. And this is all just a way to continue to say the game never crosses that delicate line into tedium. Everything's there for a reason. From the way food rots over time to how you have to eat, sleep, bathe, feed your dog, do laundry, be nice to your horse, avoid eating spoiled food, stay out of private property, travel carefully to avoid ambushes, think before you fast travel, prepare for a fight properly by equipping the right gear. My god, they even added loadouts, so switching gear is easier now. Go on penitent pilgrimages. You're never truly safe, never entirely sure, you're never omnipotent, and it keeps the game grounded.
Are you yanking my pizzle?
What's wild is how Kingdom Come 2 doesn't, baby you. Most games today smooth out all the edges, they get rid of all that fun or helpful friction. They autosave constantly, they slather ledges you can grab onto in yellow paint. They don't want you to miss a thing, even if it doesn't help you in the long run. But here, if you're late to a quest, tough shit. That character might already be dead. If you wander off to finish side quests while Hans Capon is talking privately to another lord, he'll move on without you and scold you when you find him again. Bohemia does not revolve around you. This is King Wenceslas's world, and Henry just lives in it. If you screw up in combat or pick the wrong dialogue, the game doesn't rescue you. It just says, sorry dude, you fucked up. I hope you drank a Save Your Schnapps recently. And it's frustratingly rewarding because of that. It's freeing.
You ungrateful son of a bitch.
Now, to be fair, that is one thing they seem to have also tweaked in the sequel here. The game does autosave a little more frequently, especially when doing an important quest, and especially if that quest will involve some combat. And thanks to the way it handles saving, requiring Save Your Schnapps or a bed that you have rented or own, yep, you can't just sleep anywhere and save, you're sort of gently discouraged from save scumming. Sure, you could, but for once I'm not even really tempted by it, and the developers planned for most of the failures you might encounter. Lots of quests have multiple outcomes and branching paths. It feels like a game designed to be played blind, and thanks to the fact it's mostly a story-driven RPG in 2025, it's never really easy to get completely lost or not know what to do next. This game doesn't let its commitment to realism get in the way of still being a fun game to play.
Females!
What I really appreciate is how Kingdom Come 2, it commands your attention, but it doesn't demand it. You can wander, you can roleplay, you can get lost in the woods, hunt rabbits, drink at the tavern, play dice, get in a brawl, you can go on a murdering spree if you want. It's not a good idea, but you can. It respects your time, but doesn't try to own it. It's the kind of game where doing nothing, like just picking flowers and riding pebbles around for an hour, can still feel meaningful. Because you're bathing in the world, and sometimes bathing in its bathhouses. You're just kind of fucking existing, and that's enough.
I feel quite hungry!
It's clear Kingdom Come 2 is a major work of passion. The first one was supplemented in funds from a Kickstarter, and I'm so glad it ended up coming together. You can see it in everything in the game. It's just, this game bleeds passion. But it's not just like historical reenactment for the sake of accuracy. It's presented often through a modern lens. It doesn't like glorify the past, it just tells you things as they were. You'll hear casual sexism and racism, or even get a sight into like the bizarre class system of the time, but the game isn't endorsing any of it, it's just being honest to its material.
Oh, you don't say, genius.
It never makes light of these problems, and it lets you approach them in ways you see fit. Sometimes you can condone obvious evils or condemn them. It invites you to think critically about the past and compare it to how little things really have changed. So yeah, I'm having a blast with Kingdom Come 2. More than that, I'm appreciating it. It's not perfect, it's not bug-free. In fact, those are so far my only complaints about it, like how the torches can reflect off things too far in the distance, or how there's a lack of physical birds in the game. Like, sure, there are flushes of JPEG birds when you get close to a bush and hoots in the night from owls, but like, they couldn't put a few ducks into the ponds or something. So it's missing a few superficial things. It's not flashy. The menu and stats, especially on gear, can be a little confusing and overbearing, but it is a very brave game. It also, importantly, doesn't feel bloated. I love how uncluttered the map is and how it gives you, at least in my opinion, the perfect amount of information. I guess I wouldn't mind if I could actually track all the quests I have. It's limited to 3 at a time, but this has often led to me actually using my brain and remembering things like, hey, wait, there's a guy nearby that I was talking to earlier that I never really settled up with. Let's go see him. Which again just sunk me further into feeling like I was really inhabiting the world. I love it. I'm so burnt out on the in and out cycle of modern gaming where the end result, that final boss fight or that best in slot piece of gear, is the most important bit, that it feels really refreshing to have a series that puts way more focus on the journey, the in-between bits where the real beauty occurs. I've never been afraid of spoilers because of that fact. I think that's where true happiness and joy is found, by appreciating things as they happen and savoring the little moments that lead to a climax. Yeah, a climax. Like the one I had with your parents last night.